Let's go live scene. There we go. We're live. We're rolling. There we go. All right, this is our background. Today we're just going to be messing around with some weapons, and I wanted to kind of design. I was going through Sketchfab the other day, and I was having a blast going through Sketchfab, looking at some people who had done their own 3D models of weapons, which was really, really sick to me. I thought it looked they looked really good, really well done, and honestly, most of them weren't too crazy as far as topology goes. They did some 3D weapon designs from games. I was looking at Bloodborne weapons. I was looking at Elden Ring weapons. Other people had like retextured, remade, and you can like go through their bump map and go through their yeah, just all of it. You could see all of the ambient occlusion data and stuff like that. It ended up being pretty cool and inspired me to do a new series because I was like, honestly, these weapons aren't that difficult to model. And maybe this can help me get a little bit better at, drawing. Because I did want to start doing an art stream where I'm drawing. I have this Huion tablet here. And this is, it was only like $70. And I just don't use it enough is the problem, because I ended up switching to 3D pretty much right after I got it. And I really wanted to get back into sketching. I actually have a little sketchbook that I keep with me at all times. I keep in my car at all times. And I love how I'm like invisible to you guys. I'm kind of blending into the background. That's fine. That's okay. So what I wanted to do here is let me switch to my eraser, and I'm going to set my eraser settings to be relatively large, and I think I'm going to use a normal soft eraser. Actually, I might do a hard eraser. We're going to do a hard round for eraser, and then brush is okay. Brush 39 pixels, enter. So if I switch to brush, I want to be able to draw. And then my eraser should be reasonably sized. Let's go D to get that. So if I go and I'm drawing some crazy hatchet here, like that, I can erase. And it'll be a decent size eraser. Now, that might not be what I want to do here. I am definitely going to make sure my background. Now, this is another thing. I don't know if I want my background to be white or if I want to design these in the opposite mode, where I have like a gray background. That actually might be better. So let's go Shift U on our background, and let's drop this down to like 50. Because I think that is going to be a little bit better. And then I can add highlights in, and we can really start designing weapons. So what I really want to do here is, let's go eraser. Let's erase all of this. There's a couple things I want to make. Let's go brush. I want to make an axe. And I want it to be like kind of cool, not too crazy. Kind of like Viking style axe would kind of be sick. See, and this is what I wanted. I wanted to make sure my eraser was decently, but then I also want to make some like cool changes to how kind of the handles are going, because I really want these to be more fantasy weapons. So something more like that, and I will add some smoothing onto my brush because I am not used to using the tablet at all. I'm used to holding a little art book like this and like getting all nice and close and like sketching and doing stuff like that. So having my arm way over here is very new to me, and it'll just take some time. I did cut up a sock. I cut up a sock so that I could put a thumb hole in it, cut the tip off so my hand goes right into the heel, so that I instead of buying one of those gloves, I was like, just use a sock. So what we're, brush, eraser. What does this button do? That's interesting. That's that. That's that. That's fine. I almost want that to be eraser, but we'll just leave that there for now. So if I go brush, we've got some smoothing on this, which is what I'm looking for, because I think it would be sick to, that looks like a turd, kind of design some weapons here. And what we could do is start with the handle coming down. And then where would we hold this? I kind of want it to be arced a little bit. Let's set the smoothing to like 50%. Something like that. I kind of like that. And then we can kind of just figure it out from there. Kind of like this idea. See, I'm getting messages, emails from Figma. I never even downloaded Figma, not even once. Brush. Kind of like that. I don't know how useful that is as far as a weapon goes, but I also kind of want this to be a little bit more unique here. Just mess around, have some fun with the shape, make it look a little bit more otherworldly, right? Let's have some fun with this. The balance seems a little bit off, and I almost think that this should come back to a spike this way. So I think it would look cool if this came down like that. And then this was like kind of tilted up, something more like this. And then we could just go like this. See, like this is a sick looking weapon, especially if we zoom in on this. If this comes out like that, that looks kind of cool. Well, and the cool thing with doing stuff like this is now that I do know 3D, we can design weapons in here and model them in Blender. So let's redesign this handle here. Let's go like this. This should attach like this, so this would be, honestly, it'd be kind of sick if this was spiked. And I kind of also like the idea of this being squared off a little bit. And then in here we have like another design. And then this is kind of like that. I like that. I like that. Brush. This is more of just like a little hand axe, right? But I think it would be kind of cool if there was a little bit of variancy in this handle. I don't know why I kind of like that. Taper down a little bit, but maybe we actually just keep it skinny the whole way. And we just go like this. We go like this. There we go. Kind of a little wonky, but kind of fun. I like that. I like that. That looks sick. Then we can turn off the smoothing here. And we could go like this. We could go, let's go zoom in on this. I'm still remembering all the controls here. Could be the head. We could just go G, white, white. Oh, that's sick. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. I like that a lot. And then we can just go lasso here. And we could go with like a brown color, some a little warmer. A little red, a little bit on the red side, but that's fine. Let's go brush. Oh, you just go G, boom. Deselect. And there's kind of more of an axe shape, but with that, we can kind of just go in here and we can just be like, okay, let's We can just start shading this in. I kind of like that being a little bit on the lighter side. We can add some just get in here and just have fun with it. Let's go like this. Brightness, contrast. Take the contrast down, take the brightness down. I like that. Control E. Brush. Kind of like that. Looks kind of good. Little highlights in here. Have some fun with it. Fun little sketches. It is Virtual Shinigami, dude. Yo, how's it going? I've been messing around in Blender, and I was watching some looking at some dudes that made some weapons, and I was like, oh, it'd kind of be fun to go design a weapon. So now I'm getting a little practice in without any reference, but what I'm probably going to end up doing is using reference here. Once I kind of get an idea of what I'm going for, just having some fun with the kind of weapon shapes here. What's up, Sean Darling? How's life? How's Virtual Shinigami? How's the PS1 style game coming along? It is upper decky time. Now this handle is definitely not scaled properly, so what I'm probably going to do here is literally just do this. line it up like that. That seems to match a little bit better. It seems to be a little bit more realistic. Sweats nervously. I know, dude. Hey, man, well, no rush, right? I will say that going well, I'm a VFX artist, animator, filmmaker. You going to build these? I am. I am going to build these. The other day, see, I don't know if I have anything. So this is one I painted a long time ago. This is like 2021. And I used to come up with like these little backgrounds to them, and it was just kind of fun. I really enjoy kind of world building and weapon ideas, right? And don't even, like, this is so bad. The names I came up with were absolutely atrocious. But I really like coming up with kind of weapons and stuff like that. So yesterday, what's up, you guys? Yesterday, I'll give you guys, I'll show you guys a little bit here. Or maybe it wasn't yesterday. Maybe it was. Let's see here. I was trying to recreate kind of what I made. Deselected. And so I was messing around with the texture painting. And I haven't really used it before, but I was doing some texture painting here in Blender, and just drawing some effects on it, and then using that same one to that one to get a bump map. And if we go back to layout mode here. So I was using the texture I was drawing, plugging it into a color ramp, and also using it as a bump map. So there is, like, the geometry on this, as you can see, is actually pretty simple. It's just a cylinder that I've grid filled the ends on. And then I did end up going into Photoshop and adding in my own emission map. But the problem with it is I didn't finish it. I just was too busy. I was like too rushing, and I just wanted to get it in. So you can see it literally looks like scribbles. And then I was like, you know what? Let me look up some other people's weapons that they'd made. And I was like, okay, I need to spend a little bit more time in the weapon design side of things. And so let's do an art stream. I've also really wanted to throw together like an actual drawing art stream. They're a little less enjoyable for people to watch, but I can always download the video later, and then I can download the video later, and then do a time lapse, right? And then just upload that so that people don't have to sit through it, and maybe even narrate over a time lapse. So what could be an hour-long stream, I can cut down into like a 5-minute little voiceover video where I'm explaining what I'm doing and why I decided to go that direction. But this is more of a test to kind of see do I like designing weapons? Do I not want to look at reference? The reason I don't have reference right now is because I usually like to try and start and see what my mind can come up with, and then that way I'm not being convinced by anything else while I'm it's like let's get some original thoughts on the page and not rely on I like this being like that. Not rely on other people's art completely for inspiration. Like, I have no problem using other people's art for inspiration. Like, that's totally fine. I didn't learn how to draw faces until I stopped trying to just guess and just looked at a photo reference. And it's crazy how we tell ourselves, oh, you have to just learn how to do it. You can't use reference. Like, dude, you want something to look realistic, you're going to need reference. So, but before I do that, I want to draw what I think a weapon looks like so that I can compare and contrast where I was right and where I was wrong once I do look at reference. and that's kind of something that I want to do. Like who would carry a weapon like this? Why would it be built like this? Etc. etc. I actually might go like this. That seems like that would be more accurate to whoever made this weapon. Would do something like that as like a little sword catch, right? So it's like they have a little spot in here that they use to kind of catch enemy weapons. It's like a little extra thing. So then it's, once we have a base design figured out, which is what we got now, I can go and take, oh, our smoothing's at 0. Set this at like 51. Now I can be like, okay, this is a pretty complex weapon to make. It's got a lot of shapes to it. It's very sharp and pointy, which means its purpose isn't so much defense as it is cleaving, right? This is a cleaving weapon. So we can come off to the side here and we can start making some notes. Pencil tool. Set the size to 7. Actually, let's go 4. Weapon notes. All right, and I have horrible handwriting, as you can see. I write in all capital letters. You use Substance Painter for all your texturing, but mostly do it. But I need to do it in mostly, but you need to do it in Blender so that you have the option when you don't want to pay for Adobe anymore. Dude, I completely understand. I don't pay for Adobe's Substance Painter because it's just an extra like $40 on top of me already paying for the Adobe suite, and I'm already paying $60 a month for the Adobe suite. It literally is. It's like $59.99, and so I was like, it does the same thing, not as well, but the same thing. I'm just gonna learn how to use the Blender one, and it's free. So honestly, and I can still watch subs. The nice thing is I have access to Photoshop. So Photoshop, I can do pretty much most of the things that Substance already has built into it, right? For a lot of its material, like masking and bump nodes and stuff like that. I can usually go and whatever I can't make in Blender's node system, I can go make in Photoshop and import as an image. And so I can really kind of still do the same layering that you have automatically in Substance, with just one extra step of using Photoshop. But then also, I don't have to pay for fucking Substance. Don't get me wrong. If I had Substance, I'd be very excited. But I also, I don't know. I just feel like it's, I decided to learn Blender's node system, and then I still can watch a Substance Painter like tutorial on how to make like some crazy material, and I understand what's going on in it enough, and the nodes transfer enough for me to be able to go and figure out how to build a very similar one, a very similar material in Blender. So yeah, I stand by, I truly do stand by Blender's, we're going to set this to 2 node system. But let's make some notes about this weapon. Top heavy for sure. Top heavy. Man, my handwriting is atrocious. You know what will help? If I zoom out. Next one. Offense. Offensive design. So whoever's using this is attacking. They're not defending. This is I'm trying to do as much damage as possible. And I want to try and break through some armor with some of these points, right? These points are what are going to help pay. It's like a lot of focus on a lot of weight behind a small contact point is what punctures heavy armor. I don't know G nodes very well at all. I know basic particle systems in there to set up like an array system of like, let's spread trees around, or let's put bushes, or stuff like that's the only one I know. But who has a really good one? Ducky 3D has a phenomenal series about using geonodes for a lot of motion graphic stuff, which is something I really want to learn personally. But yeah, so offensive design, top heavy. They understand smithing for sure to kind of to make this. So offensive design and stop armored foe. So whoever they're attacking has armor or some sort of protection. I mean, it could be wood, it could be metal, but specifically they're trying to really do as much damage. It's not so much a defensive or utilitarian. It's very much a let's try and kill this being. And so we can say that this group of people that would use this, the soldier that would use this, probably grunt soldier, grunt weapon, grunt slash infantry, weapon. Wouldn't necessarily be a high class citizen. This or a high standing soldier that would have this. It would be someone who is, this is they're holding on to this, and maybe they have one other. Maybe they're using this with a shield. So if they were using this with a shield, because it's definitely a one-handed, top heavy, one-handed. One-handed weapon. So then maybe this will be in tandem with a shield, so then we can draw the shield, maybe like a buckler. So if there was a buckler that they were going to use, the nice thing is we can just go like this. Let's go smoothing 100. Do something like that. And then I say that the buckler should honestly, let's go M, Command copy, Command Shift V, Command transform, scale this in like that, and then just go G, Control Z, brush. Make sure this is all connected here. Nope. Let's go brush. Let's turn this down to 50. That should all be connected. It isn't. Where is it not? I think it's right here. I don't know. Oh, you know why? Control E. There we go. And then with this, we'll go... Where's the gray? Swatches. There we go. Grayscale. Let's do this. Boom. And then we can go gradients. This. Oh, that's sick. I didn't know that would do it over the whole thing. No, let's just go brush. Let's go W, select this. That's fine. Eraser, deselect. Let's go, like this. Command deselect. Actually, Control Z. Stop it. Let's go new underneath G. We could do that. That's fine. Command deselect. And now on this brush, I say that this outside would be metal and this inside would be wood. Let's get it like that, and then we can get some planks of wood in here. Looks pretty good. And then I'm going to actually come here to this, and I'm going to go lasso tool, boom, 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 boom. Command copy, Command Shift V, Command U, white, okay, eraser. And then here we can, let's set this to, let's set our eraser to something like this. Control Z, eraser, chunky, Control Z, eraser. We'll set it to soft round. Stop it. Eraser, soft round. Thank you. I don't know why that was so difficult. Actually, instead of doing that, let's just go like this. Mask, brush, happy bee, boom, and then just use this. Then we can kind of draw stuff back in. Let's just go Control I, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control I, and then we can just draw this in. So we have some highlights here, and set smoothing up back up to 50. And then down in here, set some highlights on this. And then Control U. Just drop it down a little bit. Yeah, that seems about right. All right. This is like a little buckler, right? Brush. And we just go Control E, Control E, boom. That is added. Control Z. And then this can be a little bit of just a little bit of shading going on here. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is just like an idea, right? Like we're just using this as like an idea. So you would kind of use this with this. These two would be used in tandem. And it's just a simple, right? Very simple piece of equipment. So weapon notes. Top heavy, offensive design. I don't even think that's how you spell offensive, but whatever. Stop armored foe. So they're attacking someone who's armored. Grunt infantry weapon. This isn't someone who's, yeah, lurk. One-handed weapon, grunt infantry weapon. This is low tier, right? This is someone who's kind of just thrown at the. You get 1,000 of these dudes on a battlefield, and you're probably going to lose a couple hundred of them, but they'll be able to kind of speed up get rid of some of the enemy, which is really a good thing. That's probably what you want. Pretty nice. Let's switch this to colored pencil. Shield. Notes. Light. Weight. Cheap to make. Cheap. Production. infantry issue. So infantry would probably use an axe, or I'm guessing a crude sword would be the next one. So what I'll probably do is I'll do this. We'll go M, boom, boom, V, bring this over, and command deselect, brush, shift brush, shift brush, shift brush, boom. These weapons will probably be not much different than the sword. More of a cleaver, right? That's kind of what we're going for here. And with this, I'm trying to think. If that's the axe, let's go M. I'm thinking the sword won't be a straight sword, it'll be curved. So probably tip here. Let's zoom this in here. It's probably what the sword would look like. Kind of match with the weapon. Brush. Let's see here. Probably look like that. And then this would be a single-sided weapon. So it would probably come like this. Boom, 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 boom. And then this would be kind of colored in like this. Like that. And then we can probably go like this. Done. Command deselect. That is probably what we'd be looking at. Brush. What is my brush at? It's at 10. It should be at 7. I knew that was a little bit different. Let's go 7. Enter. Yeah. Felt like these looked a little thick. These lines looked a little thick. That's fine. Let's set this down to 10. Boom. Get some erasing going on in here. And honestly, I don't even think it would be like that. I think it would be kind of like that. I would say Bloodhound Blade is going to take the dub on this one for kind of where I'm getting reference from. Something more like this. Or like an orcish sword from Skyrim. Something like that. Might just redraw the tip here. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Another like useful puncture weapon. Looks a little bit better. Meant for cleaving. Cleaving would be kind of along the lines of the other, but also a light weapon. Easy to make, one hunk of metal, one piece of wood. Definitely infantry weapons here. Both can be used with this buckler. And let's get some shading on this here. So what I might do with this one, yeah, we'll go like this. Like that, brush. It's a nice little sword. That looks pretty good. Gets the idea across. Good little hand short sword, right? A little short sword, no guard on it. You're going to be relying on your little shield here to block any incoming attacks. You're going to have high puncture probability at this point, and high puncture at this point for thrusting. Maybe we'll add, because this is actually a pretty decent design, right? There's some complexity there. Maybe we'll come in here and we'll add one little kind of guard onto this. Something like that. Something like this. See how that looks in the grand scheme of the weapon? I don't really like it. I like that better. I feel like that's it's just a little more accurate to what would be made, right? And maybe this will have more of a leather piece on it, on its handle. The grip will have some different material here. Some animal hide, right? Oh, we have smoothing on. Get some slight wrapping going on with this. Little hide wrap around. And get some highlights on this. Something like that. Should be fine. More of like a little, yeah, a little wrap on that. And then we can just go L for M. And we'll zoom in and make this look a little bit better. We can come here and we can go Command Transform and do that. Boom. Okay. Command Deselect. Eraser. Eraser. Control Z, eraser. So that's kind of like wrap. That's got a wrap around the handle. That one doesn't. A little bit skinnier, a little bit thicker. That's fine. I kind of like this. I might go M on this and then go Command Transform, and we will just stretch this out like that. Maybe make it a little bit longer too, like that. Just be Command Deselect, just to be a little bit more of a viable weapon, right? So there's your short sword, and we'll just call this one a little war axe. War axe. Brush, shift brush. War axe. And this will be short sword. And infantry. Buckler. Short sword. infantry buckler. Yeah, just kind of a little weapon sheet. And this, the fun thing about this is as you keep building into the world that you're building, and you're like, okay, well, we know that the infantry is usually going to be one-handed weapons with a buckler. We might come up with another form of protection, right? So the frontline infantry might not be this. This might be second line infantry. Frontline infantry might be a bigger shield wall. So they might not even have weapons. They might have a shield, a bigger shield. And then right behind them, there's a spear wall or whatever. But so far, these people, this group of people, whoever this kingdom is, I would say with weapons designed like this, they're not often on the defensive. They're on the offensive. These would be barbarians and raiders. So these people would be conquerors or a raiding party, right? Do as much damage as possible, fast, quick, maybe ranged, not so much stealth, but overwhelmed by numbers. That's the way I kind of look at least with this weapon set, right? This weapon set seems to say that. Let's go in here. I'm gonna zoom in. I just noticed. Let's go like this. Let's go. Boom, 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 boom. New G, Control I or Control U. Let's make it just slightly brighter. Than the background. Okay, Command deselect. Yeah, because this blade is a little bit brighter than the background as well. And then, okay. Let's go lasso, boom, 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 boom. Remove that, and then we're going to go onto this, and we're going to go G, boom, Control I, Control U. I'm going to just make that a little bit darker, Command deselect. Just something I'm doing. I like that. I think that looks good. Let's move in here. There is a little bit here that's not working, so I'm going to go brush I, Shift B a couple times. We're just going to fill this in. Just a couple spots that just need a little bit of filling in. Yeah, there. So yeah, that is some basic weapon design that we can keep building the world out. And it's like, okay, well, now that we have the type of people these are, let's write some notes for the short sword here. Shift B, short sword notes. Weapon notes. Top heavy. Offensive design, Stop armor. It's a kind of the same exact notes. So let's erase this. Let's Control Z on all this. It's the same. These two share the same. So what I might do is I might honestly M delete, Command to select, Command E. Let's go shield notes, weapon notes. Let's go M. Just get this a little bit more collected here. Boom. M. Boom. That works great. M. Boom. Short sword, war axe, weapon notes, infantry buckler, shield notes. Yeah, kind of get these in line, right? It's like, okay, there we go, shield notes. And then we can start working on armor, start figuring out, okay, if this is a barbarian people, they attack villages, these might be conquerors, right? So that is the type of lore that we're building with this group. And then we can, and for armor, I refuse to design armor without looking at reference. A, because I don't know how to draw people very well, and so drawing armor is drawing different parts of the body. That's all it is, right? If you can't draw the body, you can't draw clothes right. If you can't draw clothes right, you can't draw armor right, because armor is just protective clothing. So I will definitely be using reference for that, but this is kind of this will be a fun little group of videos that I'll keep putting out. I think this would be really fun to kind of keep building the world, and as we get more in depth with one set of people, then we can hop into the other set of people. Who are they warring against? What is their purpose? What does this group of people want from those people? Do those people have better food? Do they have do they have access to a magic system? What is the purpose for the battles, and is it just cultural differences, different gods, no recognition of kings? Yeah, could be anything. And if that's the case, like, how are these people building weapons? Where are they getting the armor or the metal to make their own weapons? If they have weapon manufacturing at this level, then that means they must not be completely nomadic, right? Because it takes civilization in order to build this kind of stuff. So then where's their home base? Then we can start building out the world. But I think that this is really fun. I love world building, and I would love to do this with you guys. So if you guys have notes that you want to see where you're like, ooh, this would be a good idea, let's totally throw it in. I think it'd be really fun. Really fun to kind of keep building this up. And it's a great way for me to practice my drawing. So, super fun little practice for myself. Let's Command save this, and we are going to put this in Documents, Adobe, Photoshop saves, Barbarian Weapons. And we'll name this Sketch Stream Barbarian Weapons. I like that. Oh, I can't. Okay, can't use a colon. Barbarian Stream dash saved. Heck yeah. Well, now I'm gonna update my. Oh, these are. I forgot I did these. These were what I did for the thumbnail, and I kind of like it. I kind of like this thumbnail. I might remove some of these, but this is also just like as fast as I can whipping something up like a cleaver. some form of spear slash pole sword, right? Hand-to-hand combat, close quarters combat, fist, and a mace, and just whipping stuff out quickly for the thumbnail. But I think that this will work pretty well, you guys. That being said, I don't want to make these live streams too long, and I think we're already at over an hour here. So I am going to, let's see actually where we are at. I think we're, what are we at? Yeah, hour and 13 minutes. I think that is more than enough time to bother y'all. I think this works out pretty good. I think this is a great little stream, a little how-to, little have fun, break down reasoning and stuff like that on what you're building. And world building is just so darn fun for me. I'm gonna leave this one blank. Maybe next stream or even on my own, I might go in and keep drawing and just upload it as a little time lapse as I keep building weapons and armor out. And then once we get that done, maybe we could start building these in 3D and texturing them. I think that would be fun. At some point, I want to get a 3D printer, and I want to be able to start designing these in 3D printing little keychains. I think it'd be sick. Have a little long sword or a great sword from Elden Ring. That'd be so sick. I always was dual wield Zweihander and great sword. First thing I'd level up, like before even getting health, was just like get strength to 30 so I could freaking dual wield that. And then the giant talisman, you have to go kill all those dudes out in front of there's a big pot dude, and he's arms are crossed, he's out in front of one of the Colosseums, and he's got 3 champions you have to beat, and if you kill all those champions, then you get a like +1 or +2 talisman that lets you like really, it's like 20 added to your carry weight or whatever, 10 added to your carry weight, and so I could dual wield without fat rolling, and not having to put too much into endurance. I don't know. I love Souls games, but I think it'd be really sick to have like little keychains. Maybe I'll start sending those out to. Maybe that'll be a Patreon thing if I ever start a Patreon. It's like if you join Patreon, I can send you a little 3D printed something. Well, I have to learn 3D printing first, and we have to make these. So hopefully this will be entertaining enough for y'all. And if not, I don't really care that much. I'm gonna keep doing it. It's fun for me. Have a good one, you guys. Join the Instagram. Come hang out on Instagram. I post a lot of the 3D finished pieces on there. TikTok gets the same info as Instagram, so those are both just there. And honestly, I don't really use TikTok as much as I use Insta because social media wastes too much of my time. All right. Adios. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. See ya, guys. Later.